And finally, Josh Hopkins, the superintendent of the Grants Pass Park and Rec Department, will share about the development of the Grants Pass mountain bike trail system.
Back on November 1st, I came across something that was pretty unusual for the city of Grants Pass. There were hundreds of mountain bikers gathered at a trailhead. There was this family out for a hike with a baby on their back, all dressed like bears, and there was this little girl about 6 years old in a pink tutu just shredding mountain bike trails. There was also a full-grown man dressed like Superman running around with a giant pair of scissors. Now you might be wondering why so many people would gather in Grants Pass the day after Halloween. Well, it's because at the city of Grants Pass, we believe every community can improve its economic output. How did we do it? We bought a mountain. And we think you can too. Let me back up just a little bit here. Back in 2019, the city of Grants Pass was in pretty dire straits. We're located in one of Oregon's poorest counties. We were seeing families leave, businesses shutter their doors. There really just wasn't an identified agency or industry that was going to come in and save us. Our city leadership had to ask themselves some really tough questions. Namely, what can we actually do about this? And that's when this idea emerged. What if we invested in our outdoor recreation as a tourism driver? So, our city council took a pretty big swing, and they purchased this lot of land known as Dollar Mountain right outside of Grants Pass with the intent to develop it into a mountain bike destination location. Mountain biking represents hundreds of millions of dollars in visitor spending within our state. Cycling in general is a billion-dollar industry. So they knew that this had the potential to be a pretty lucrative tourism driver. But as it turns out, buying a mountain is totally the easy part. Turning this dream into reality was going to require a whole lot more work. The city was faced with needing to get permitting, conceptual planning to figure out what this even looks like, and identify funding for development. Additionally, while this was going on, the city suffered a setback through staff overturn. I'll be honest, I'm not the park superintendent who originated this project, and staff overturn on a project of this scale doesn't just cause delays, it can sometimes be a project killer. But the city was able to overcome all of these obstacles because during this process, we had built out a strong stakeholder network. The National Park Service came up and helped line out our conceptual planning, and they linked us in with our local Bureau of Land Management, who provided agreements and funding so that we could build the trailhead on their property. Travel Oregon came to our aid, and they provided us with contracting for a professional trail design consultant who not only identified our routes, but gave us information we needed to get our permitting done. Our local mountain bike community, through our Rogue Valley Mountain Bike Association, took all the data we had gathered from our conceptual planning process and kept it at the forefront of our city council, which kept them active and engaged while city staff worked through the next steps. When I was hired in 2022, I didn't walk into a mess. I walked into a project that had momentum, which allowed us to move forward with the grant through the Oregon parks so that we could fund development. I truly believe it was this strong stakeholder network that brought us to that day on November 1st for our grand opening, where that young family was out for a hike at the same time that a little girl in her pink tutu was enjoying her mountain bike. And yeah, inevitably, Superman did find something to cut with those giant scissors. All of this occurred while our stakeholder network group and our city councilors were surrounded by hundreds of trail enthusiasts. The day stood as proof of concept. Investing in outdoor recreation works. Since then, we've heard reports of people coming from all over to try out this system. We've been featured in nationwide articles from the mountain biking community, all thrilled to have this new feature for them to go to. We've even been attracting other users, like this trail runner I met, who'd come up from San Francisco for the weekend just to try it out. People have been raving about this trail's flow, its accessibility, and the sense of escape they get, even though they are right next to town. Some people have even remarked they love being able to ride their mountain bikes from their hotel rooms right onto the system. It is that close. My main takeaway is this. The state of Oregon is incredibly rich in diverse outdoor recreational offerings. Every community has something they can be investing in to tap into this market. If the city of Grants Pass can build out a strong stakeholder network and be willing to take this kind of risk in one of Oregon's poorest regions, so can you. We bought a mountain. You've just got to figure out what is your mountain and be willing to take that swing. Thank you very much.